Hello, everyone. So, the Bronco Raptor has finally been announced, and all of the heavy hitter YouTube moto journalist channels have already done their walk around videos. I don't think anyone's driven this thing yet, but there are plenty of good videos out there talking about all of the details and the specs on the new Bronco Raptor. In this video, I'm just going to give you my opinion, and I thought it would be interesting for folks to hear an opinion from a true Jeep fan. So first, let me tell you that I actually saw one of these things on the road here in Michigan a few days after Christmas. It was wrapped in the Dairy Cow black and white camouflage wrap, but there was no hiding the fact that this thing was a Raptor. It looked ridiculously wide, super rad. I must have a Ford performance engineer that lives nearby or something. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my phone out of my pocket in time to snap a photo, but it was really cool to be able to see the thing on the road in person. So I'm not going to go through all of the data and the specs here. It would be far more interesting for you to watch one of the heavy hitter YouTube channels doing walkarounds of the rig for all that data. So the elephant in the room is obviously the engine. Is it a surprise that Ford chose to put a turbocharged V6 in the Bronco Raptor instead of a V8? I don't think so. I mean, I do have to tell you that part of me thought they may put a V8 in this thing, but if you think about the decisions that Ford Performance has made with the F-150 Raptor, they walked away from the 6.2 liter V8 years ago and chose to go the route of turbocharged V6. Wheels, tires, and suspension. Ford is throwing the gauntlet down here. I mean, this thing comes with 37s from the factory, which is awesome. And as I mentioned in my video, 5 Things Not to Love About the 392, I think Jeep is going to need to make a move to 35s on the base Wrangler 392 and then offer 37s with the Extreme Recon package on the 392. It's awesome that this thing comes with 37s right from the factory, though. And the suspension is some high-end Fox shocks with remote reservoirs. I think they're adjustable as well. That should be bomber on desert runs. It'll be interesting to see how this thing rides on the street, but my gut tells me it'll be pretty good. I think the other big story here is the size of this thing. Now, the standard 4-door Bronco is huge, and it's difficult to determine just how big it is until you see it parked next to a Wrangler. I mean, I recently went into the service bay at my Jeep dealership. To my surprise, there was a brand new 4-door Bronco parked behind a JKU in the service bay, and I was taken aback. The thing is big. And guess what? The Raptor version is even bigger. This thing is over 80 inches wide. So it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a difference that is noticeable from the Wrangler. Now, is that a positive or is it a negative? I think it depends on your application. If you're bombing through the desert, an ultra-wide wheelbase is great. If you're parking this thing at Detroit Metropolitan Airport, forget about it. If you're running through tight trails that we deal with here in the Midwest, it's going to be dicey. And honestly, I'm looking forward to more Broncos getting out there on the trails so they can widen the trails just a bit and save me from a lot of the pinstriping that I've had to deal with over the years. And the other topic to discuss is the weight of the Bronco Raptor. It will be heavier than the 392. I believe it was TFL, again, who gave all of the specifications, but that's something worth mentioning. I'm not sure what's driving that additional weight, but we all know that lighter weight typically results in better performance. So what are my final thoughts and opinions on the Bronco Raptor? I think it's awesome that Ford is throwing the gauntlet down and pushing Jeep. Jeep will no doubt be stronger and better with a viable competitor in the marketplace. I think it really comes down to your use case. Now, if I lived in the Southwest and I had easy access to the Baja Peninsula, I might consider the Bronco Raptor. This thing would be bomber running through the desert, through the dunes. However, with it being as big and as wide as it is, I may just opt for the F-150 Raptor for that use. For me, the Wrangler 392 is still the right choice. I'm in love with this thing, and it's definitely the right choice for me. Now, if you already have a Ford Bronco reserved and you're one of those people, and I hear there's quite a few, who have reservations but their vehicle is yet to be built, I've heard through all of the other YouTube channels that Ford is giving you first dibs at a reservation for the Bronco Raptor. In my opinion, that is a no-brainer. Cancel your Sasquatch or Badlands or whatever other Bronco trim level you have reserved and get a base Bronco Raptor at $69,995. It's a no-brainer. Now, I think the question you have to ask yourself is, if you decide to wait on a Bronco Raptor, how long will it take before you actually lay hands on your Bronco Raptor? Obviously, with things the way they are right now, all automotive manufacturers are struggling with production and parts, and Ford has certainly disappointed a lot of their fan base with the delays on the standard Bronco. Finding one of these on a dealer lot once they are in production, I can't even begin to imagine what the markups are going to be. It will be ridiculous, and this will be a super hot vehicle. So in closing, all I can say is thank you, Ford, for making something super rad and pushing Jeep to new heights, because I know that the folks at Jeep or Stellantis or whatever they're called now will not take this shot across the bow lightly. And thank you for making this thing so darn wide that I won't have to deal with pinstriping on the trails here in the Midwest once these things get out on the trail. Thanks for watching.